Jake lost the fight, but he won something far more valuable: credibility. Tank, on the other hand, reminded the world why he's one of the deadliest fighters of his era. He didn't just win, he reinforced his reign. In the end, this wasn't about fame or money. It was about two men chasing greatness, in completely different ways. Because in boxing, every punch tells a story. And this one will be remembered forever. Two men. Two journeys. One unforgettable night. This was Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis, the collision of worlds. Las Vegas. Under the bright lights, the crowd roared as two men from opposite worlds stepped into the same ring. Jake Paul, the self-made showman. Gervonta Davis, the silent assassin. Round 1, Jake came out aggressive, pumping the jab, circling, using his reach. Tank stayed calm, smiling, inching closer. Round 2, Jake landed a clean right hand. The crowd gasped. But Tank didn't blink. He just nodded, as if to say, okay. Now it's my turn. In round 3, Tank slipped a jab and unleashed a counter left, lightning fast, brutally clean. Jake hit the canvas hard. Commentator, down goes Jake Paul. That's it. Gervonta Davis has done it again. The fight was over. Tank Davis, victorious. Jake Paul, humbled, but not broken. As the dust settled, Gervonta Davis stood tall, his dominance undisputed, his legend growing. For Jake Paul, it was a moment of painful clarity. He had stepped into the deep end of boxing, and survived long enough to earn respect. Coach BJ Flores, Jake's stronger, bigger, and more focused than ever. He's ready for whoever steps in front of him. Meanwhile, in Las Vegas, Gervonta Davis went dark. No cameras. No noise. Just sweat, silence, and punishment. Floyd Mayweather's voice echoed from the gym walls, stay patient. Be smart. Let him make mistakes. Every round, every punch, Tank was perfecting his timing, preparing for that one opening he always finds. Stephen A. Smith, Jake Paul is fearless, but fearlessness can only take you so far against a born killer like Gervonta Davis. Daniel Cormier, Jake has heart, but Tank's experience is something you can't learn in 3 years. You can't fake what Tank's lived through. Carl Frock, if Jake Paul survives past round 3, I'll be impressed. Tank's power is no joke. The boxing world debated, argued, and speculated. But one thing was certain, people were watching. And for the first time in years, boxing felt alive again. The tension built online, one tweet, one press comment at a time. Jake Paul taunted Tank's height, mocked his record, and promised to shock the world. Tank's reply was simple, calm, and deadly. Gervonta Davis, he can talk all he wants. When he steps in there with me, he's going to sleep. That wasn't trash talk, that was a statement of fact. And when Tank speaks like that, boxing listens. Because his fists always follow through. Commentator, Jake doesn't understand what he's walking into. Tank isn't playing YouTube boxing. He's fighting for legacy. 2 training camps, 2 completely different worlds. In Puerto Rico, Jake Paul's camp buzzed with cameras, media, and a team focused on strategy. He worked on his jab, his movement, and his conditioning. Sparring bigger fighters, studying southpaw angles, preparing for the most dangerous test of his life. He took Tank under his wing, turning a street brawler into a world champion. Tank isn't just fast or strong. He's cold, calculated. He's patient until the moment he isn't, and then it's too late. From Leo Santa Cruz to Ryan Garcia, from Jose Pedraza to Mario Barrios, every fighter who stepped in the ring with Tank met the same fate, devastation. He didn't just win. He ended you. When Jake Paul began mentioning Gervonta Davis's name, fans laughed. A 135-pound world champion against a YouTuber? Impossible. But Jake didn't care about what was realistic, he cared about what was legendary. Clips of his callouts flooded the internet. He claimed he could knock Tank out. That his size, reach, and power would overwhelm the smaller man. Jake Paul, everyone says I can't fight real boxers. Fine. Let me fight the best one out there. The internet exploded. Some called Jake crazy. Others called him brave. And slowly, what began as trash talk started to sound like a real possibility. And as the fame grew, so did his ambition. Jake Paul, I didn't want to just entertain people. I wanted to shock the world. He trained. He sacrificed. And soon, the YouTuber became the fighter. He knocked out former NBA player Nate Robinson, a viral moment that set the internet on fire. Then came Tyron Woodley, Anderson Silva, and Nate Diaz, real fighters, real wars. But to the boxing purists, it was never enough. They said, "You haven't fought a real boxer." Jake knew that. And deep down, he wanted the respect that no social media post could buy. While Jake's journey began in luxury and fame, Gervonta Davis's story started in survival. Born in Baltimore, Maryland, Tank was raised in chaos, a world where fighting wasn't sport, it was survival. He found boxing as an escape, a way to stay alive, and under the guidance of coach Calvin Ford, his raw power was refined into lethal precision. Soon, Floyd Mayweather Jr. noticed the young southpaw with dynamite in both fists. In a sport defined by legacy, pain, and pride, two very different names now dominate every conversation. Jake Paul. Gervonta Davis. One, a YouTuber turned prizefighter who built an empire from controversy and clicks. The other, a born fighter, a product of the streets, molded by struggle, and sharpened by one of the greatest minds in boxing history. When worlds so far apart collide, something has to break. And on this night, that something might just be the world's perception of what boxing truly is. This is the story of fame versus firepower. Clout versus class. And a collision that no one thought possible, until it was. Before the boxing gloves, before the bright lights, Jake Paul was just another kid chasing fame on the internet. But what began as online chaos soon turned into a global phenomenon. Jake discovered something powerful: attention. Every controversy, every outrageous statement, every viral stunt, was fuel.